Okay, welcome back folks to another video in the garage. So you notice we're all built up now with lights and what have you. So this is just the final video on roughly getting the wiring in to make sure things are working, and final setup of all the build up of all the bits and bobs all over the place. So again, a little disjointed again, so I apologise for that. It is just what I've been able to do here and there because hectic busy life gets in the way of what I really want to do. But hey ho, that's life. So this is it. You see how that comes together, and then the next video will be all about stripping it back down again to absolute shell, ready for painting. But later on that. Alright then, this illustrates why we try and build things up before we get too carried away in painting. This fits into there, and didn't because I need to flatten these out, which is not entirely surprising. What is a little bit surprising and a little annoying is if you notice on here, this is raised up and it fits in that recess there, or supposed to. So I'm going to try and get this in one hand. That's tight against there, and there's about 1/4 inch gap there, so that's no good. Even with no doubt there's a gasket got to go on there, but no, the gasket's not that thick, so we need to make that deeper. Okay, I've made a start on a bit of hammer and dolly, using this to go behind there to hold against there, and so I can just hammer those in. I think it's working a little bit, not brilliant. We'll keep on trying for a minute. It is getting there slowly. Maybe that's the way forward rather than messing around with a press. Just gently dolly it in. Yeah, as long as I keep my marks below those lines there, we should be okay. We can always tidy it up a little bit afterwards. On to a winner. Bring that over now, like it was before. We've got a definite bow there. Needs attention. Right, I think we can live with that. That's probably a gasket width there now. Maybe just a little bit more in there. Old faithful. Right, let's see what we got. Now we're cooking on gas. Yeah, that's much better. Now we're lining up a bit better. Imagine discovering that after you painted the shell and then having to do all that damage to it. It'd be horrific, wouldn't it? Now just give that a bit of a planish up now to tidy it up a little bit better. I'm going to get super pressures over it. Yeah. Okay, happy with that. I can do the same to the other side now. Lovely. I should use Old Faithful first. Much better stretching on the ball peen than messing around with the posh hammers. Much better. Yeah. Job done straight away. Lovely jubbly. There we go. Actually did less damage on this side than I did the other side just using a ball peen hammer. So lesson learned. Just stick with a ball peen, you know where you are with it. Yeah, both covered with a bit of build through primer, which I've managed to get a nice run going on there. So happy days. So now we've manipulated that back panel. The lights fitted. I've got the wiring loom through just roughly for now to make sure I didn't have any clearance issues with that. So that's coming through there. I did have one clearance issue. Let's get the light on here. We'll find our way into here amongst all my rubbish. Just on the seat box there, you can see I've had to bring that up. Get that to focus. See, I've had to bring that up just a little bit so the wire can fit through the gap there. Other than that, it's gone through nicely. Well, that is surprisingly satisfying. Just got the loom roughly placed in the car, so you can see over there just chucked in really, and inside the car again just got the loom chucked in roughly in there. Just make sure everything's doing what it should do. And we have flashy lights. Happy days. Now we turn the lights off. Did have a problem with the wipers as it happens, which is now resolved mostly. Wipers on. You'll hear clonking. That's what I've got to deal with their clearance issue, but I can go back to that. That's the problem. So, it turns out I was right to begin with. The first time I was looking at these wires, This motor needs to be positively switched, not negatively switched. So it was simply a case of just swapping these two wires around here again. So that's now positive, that's now negative, same as the voxel colours. When I tried to switch it on the negative circuits through the switch, it didn't like it, and it blew fuses. It was just earthing, putting live straight to earth. So lesson learned, back to square one on that one. But we're working now. So apart from the clearance issue in there, which needs a wee hitting with a wee hammer. We've got me heater. So that's working well. You see I've got some nice shiny new sticky on there now, and the sliders are working well. I've also been busy with 3D printer and printed up some replacement vents for up there, because my ones were very worn and sun damaged. So I just 3D printed the tops and cut the bottoms off and glue them together with our super glue. So time will tell how good that is or not. This is a PLA plus filament, so hopefully it's going to be a bit more resistant to UV. I might yet give them a bit of a rub down, try and get rid of that shapes around the sides there, and give them a paint of a UV resistant black, just to try and prolong the life of them. But yeah, happy with how these came out. Try to do this one-handed, that still works. So that's a result, because these are again super expensive if you can find them. So happy with that. I've also got, what have I done with that? There we go. Big thank you again to Russell Lord. Clean the front off there. Big thank you to Russell Lord. He sent me a right-hand drive switch housing effort. So pleased with that. So that's going to make a big difference. I don't intend to have an ashtray, so my intention for that is make up a blanking plate, which I can then fit one more switch, because I need 4 switches. We've got 3 switches there, so I need a 4th switch, and I can use it for other switches as well, or displays or something. I'll find something for that, but I don't want an ashtray in there. I've also opened this out there, which was the old choke hole, to allow for my repeater lamp for the hazards to go in there, so it makes a nice home for that. So making progress here. So I'm just waiting for headlamp units to arrive now. Once they do, we can put those in and check to see that that's all working as it should as well. Okay, so another thing I've been potching about with is speedos. So this is an MX5 speedo cable to suit the gearbox I got, and that's the MX5 end. Well, this is partially good news, because it's the same square end in there as you get in the Ford speedo. And all I've done is 3D printed a little bushing and glued that to the outside of there, and that now clips onto there like so. And if I hook this over and twist the end of the speedo, should see movement. There we go. How accurate it's going to be is another thing, but at least it'll do something. Right, there it is, all fully built up. Lights on, working, grill on. what a difference it makes just having the lights on. Makes it look like a car. Right, that's my switches and bits and bobs done for the switch panel. So thank you very much to Russell for the centre switch panel. Nice genuine one. Very much appreciate that. And I've altered it slightly so that was the ashtray there, so I've made an ashtray delete. Found out what these buttons actually fit quite nicely into there, so I've just fitted my heater button there and then made a little panel to go in there so I can put USB sockets and little voltage gadget there. And those switches are just in the order that I think would suit me, so lights, hazard and wipers, and that's fine. And I've just freshened up the switches with one of these sticker sets from eBay. And to be fair, as long as you clean the switches up tidy with a good solvent first, so they're nice and dust and dirt free, they've stuck on there very nicely and look the part. Not as good as fresh brand new switches, but considerably less expensive. Right, well I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you see the benefits of building the car up if you're doing this, so you can be sure that once it's painted, not damaging paintwork which you spent a lot of time over. So as I said at the outset, the next video will be stripping the car down, engine out, everything back down to a bare shell apart from probably the rear axle, which I just leave in place, helps move it around. But all the front axle, suspension, cross member, all that can all come off now, ready for painting. So my intention with the painting is paint it myself. I have to and fro whether I should save up and pay somebody else to do it, which I have done in the past, and I've mentioned this before. If I spend a lot of money on getting a car painted, and I'll be afraid to use it. I don't want that to be the case. So I'm prepared to spend the money on the paint, but if I do it myself, and then if it gets chipped or scratched, I would be confident to touch it up myself and finish it off. So that way I won't be too precious about using the car, because I do want to use it. It's what's the point in doing it otherwise? I'm not looking for a perfect gleaming show finish. I think old cars with really gleaming paint don't look right anyway. There should be a certain amount of sort of age built in, if that makes any sense. So hopefully that'll come okay. My intention then is to paint engine bay, the interior and the boot, and then put all those bits back in the car and then paint outside afterwards. That way I'm not risking damaging bits as I'm putting the engine in place. So hopefully that makes sense. Possibly not the best way of doing it, but we'll see. That's the way I'm going to have a crack at it. So watch your space and see you in the next one.